regardless of what your driver's license says, if they say you need a passport,
this is another valid U.S. ID.
Okay, if you're claiming that you're a federal officer, then maybe you can understand the words that are coming out of my mouth a little bit more clear for the third time. If they say you need a passport and you don't have one, and they say you need a passport to rent a car, what is your problem? If they need a passport and you don't have one, then what's the problem? What is that dividing line that you can't figure out that they're not going to rent you a car without a passport?
What we're watching in real time right here is the failures of our education system, as well as the failure within our society to treat each other with the slightest bit of respect. We have a Puerto Rican man here, a U.S. citizen, being denied a rental car that he already paid for because the worker and the officer here think that Puerto Rico is a foreign country. Let's take a brief look at how this whole thing started.
Gentlemen, we have a policy here where if you're going to rent with a out-of-state license, you have to have your passport. My social in there, let him know they have to have his passport. In that instance, he got outraged and he also started recording everybody. And I asked him to leave, and now he doesn't want to leave and continues to record and give them a hard time in the office.
For over a decade, I've been renting Hertz.
Don't care.
I have never been denied because I'm a resident of Puerto Rico. I live in Puerto Rico. I'm a retired federal law enforcement officer, which you can only be a federal law enforcement officer if you're a United States citizen. So by virtue of that, I'm explaining that to them. I don't have my passport because I don't need to travel with my passport when I'm in the United States. So I don't have it with me. The license in Puerto Rico is a valid U.S. government ID. Has a license in Louisiana, in Texas, Florida, Alaska. It is considered by law a valid U.S. government identification.
You've already explained that to me 2 different times. So what's the issue with their policies and you?
Check out this officer's attitude. It's completely unacceptable. He's supposed to be de-escalating the situation or at least trying to solve it in some kind of way. Instead, he's disrespecting the guy like he came in here looking to cause all kinds of trouble, maybe even cause a disruption, not just to rent a car.
When you travel from Puerto Rico to mainland USA...
Regardless to what, sir, we've had multiple different customers that come here that have an out-of-the-country driver's license that present a passport, whether or not if they knew.
But this is not an out-of-country driver's license.
He's explained it to you, I'm explaining to you. Regardless to what, we cannot rent you. And because you recorded us, now you're not going to be able to bring with her ever. Because you shouldn't have recorded us ever.
All right, we're not going to keep going in circles here. It is midnight. This is ridiculous. And I'm saying that ridiculous. We're not going to do this crap anymore. Is that pretty clear?
Okay.
All right, so you can find your way out the parking garage or second or third floor and try to rent a car. We are not going to sit here for any longer and bicker over this nonsense. If you're not getting a car, you don't have a passport.
What about that I prepaid?
Okay, they've got this thing called the corporate office. You can send all your videos that you recorded to them and try to get your money back. We are not going to sit here tonight and do this anymore.
You don't require that from someone who came to travel from Texas.
You done? You can leave.
All right. Sure. Which way do I go to?
Right past that car down the escalator, down the stairs.
Can I go down there to that way?
I don't care which way you go.
Okay. Thank you.
Do not come back up here and cause any more disturbances.
Now, this whole thing went down at New Orleans Louis Armstrong International Airport. And after the cop ran this guy off very angrily, Hertz actually did pick up on the story, and they found out that they sided with this customer, Marshawn. Here's what they said. Hertz accepts Puerto Rican driver's licenses from our customers renting in the U.S. without requiring a valid passport. Quote, we sincerely regret that our policy was not followed and have apologized to Mr. Marshawn and refunded his rental. The Kenner Police Department, the responding officers department, has also launched an internal investigation into the officer's conduct. Chief Michael Cunningham told the Washington Post. Reacting to how he was treated by the officer and the employee, Marshawn told local outlet WVUE that he was disappointed that he was treated like a second-class citizen, even though he is an American citizen, and lamented how the officer stood as the sole arbiter of whether his driver's license was a valid ID or not. Everybody on the Hertz side of it and this police officer were wrong. Like, happily wrong. Not even listening. What it does also shows is our lack of full knowledge about our country, its territories, really where people come from. Who's actually a citizen of this country? Where does the ignorance about places like Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands come from?
And I will tell you, I left Texas, and I left Florida, and I left Louisiana, and I went to Puerto Rico, and I met with the president of the Virgin Islands.